Huge week in the Philly soccer world. We got a huge weekend ahead. Welcome to Brotherly Love F.C., your home for everything from Philadelphia Union to the biggest FIFA storylines all the way down to the youth developmental leagues here in our area. And we've already had some great guests in the first couple of weeks. Tom, let's keep it going. I know we always want our help from our viewers.
Absolutely. That's one of the keys with this show is we want to incorporate the entire Philly soccer community. So we want to see your highlights, your pictures, or your youth soccer. Send it to us on Instagram at Brotherly_Love FC and on X at Brotherly FC. We've already started to get some sent in to us. The great club in Southwest Philly, Salone FC, sent these pictures in to us with some of their great teams. This is what the show's all about. We want to showcase soccer as a whole in the Philly community. So keep sending those pictures and highlights in so we can show them here on the show.
Yeah, good luck this weekend for all the games, everyone. So yeah, keep sending them in. We've already got a few. We're going to get to them. All right, Tom, let's start with the Union. What a season it's been. A lot of people didn't see this coming, but here we are, a possible supporter shield on the line Saturday night. We're thrilled to welcome in Philadelphia Union digital reporter Sage Hurley. Sage, thanks for being here. You've had a front row seat to all of it this year.
I sure have.
We were talking earlier, a lot of people didn't have expectations of how good they would be this year, but you said internally they kind of knew it.
That's right. A lot of people, outside voices, didn't know what to expect from this Philadelphia Union team. They missed the playoffs last year, but in the offseason, it was a very busy offseason for the organization. They brought in new head coach Bradley Carnell. He came in with a clear identity of what he wanted to instill within the group. He brought in new staff, and then sporting director Ernst Tanner brought in some really impressive new players, and they've really come together as a group and proved a lot of people wrong. So it's been really exciting to watch people kind of ignore the things that they might have heard from outside voices, outside media, whatever it is, and just play soccer, play their identity of soccer, and find this level of success.
Like you said it, there's been a lot of turnover even throughout the season with new players coming in, people going out. What is the identity? What does this team hold on to? What's the style of play? What do you think the key is?
So you can talk about this team and how they play on the field. They're a high-pressing team. They really care about defense. Defense is so important. They've let up the least amount of goals in all of Major League Soccer, only 33, I believe it is. And that's part of their identity on the field, very tactical, but they also really care about each other. They have each other's back on the field. I've talked to multiple players, and they say that this year's team is a team in the locker room that has a really special connection. A lot of players that might be coming from different teams from around the world have never been on a team where the players are this close, and I think that directly reflects to how they've been playing on the field. There's been a lot of games where they keep pushing, maybe they've been down a goal, and they keep pushing and get all 3 points, and I think that's been probably one of the biggest reasons that this team has found so much success is the relationships off the field, and it carries right on to their play.
Now, suddenly, this Saturday night they've already clinched a playoff berth, but this Saturday night, they could come home and stay home with some hardware, the supporter shield. Talk about what that is, number one, and why that's so important.
Sure. So the supporter shield is on the line this weekend with a win over New York City FC. Philadelphia Union could hoist a trophy at home at Subaru Park on the riverfront in front of their fans. That's a big deal. The supporter shield is given to the team who has the most points at the end of the regular season. They do have another game after this weekend's game, but mathematically, they will have had the best record of all teams in Major League Soccer if they win this game this weekend. Also, every year, the Philadelphia Union put on You Thank You Night, which is the last regular season home game of the year. So it's a night that's already intended for the fans to say thank you for everything that they've done for the team all year long. And the season starts in February and goes to October, the regular season, and they've been out in cold games in the middle of the summer when it's beautiful, and now they've been supporting this team all year long. So the team not only gets to honor them in that way with You Thank You, but they also get the chance to hold a trophy, the supporter shield, in front of those fans.
And they won it only once before. That's the standings, right? So if they win, there could be actually a couple scenarios if they come to a draw or some other scenarios they could still win. But can you imagine them winning this? And they've only done it once before, right? This would be the only hardware they've won in the MLS.
So they've won the Supporter Shield before back in 2020. There's a couple of players on this year's roster that were there for that. But for the majority of the players on the Philadelphia Union this year, this is a really exciting chance to be able to achieve a trophy and lift that trophy at home. It's really important. And I've talked to a couple of the guys this week. Yes, they know it's at stake, but it's all about focusing on the game ahead, sticking to their principles, and the rest will take care of itself.
Now, obviously, there's a ton of positive. They've set themselves up great. They'll possibly win the Supporters Shield heading into the playoffs. But there's that next goal of winning the championship, and that took a little bit of a big blow this weekend with Quinn going down. Talk about the impact that's going to have. If people don't know, Quinn Sullivan, one of the stars of the team, tore his ACL past weekend. What impact does that have, and who do we need to look at to maybe step up and fill that void?
So Quinn Sullivan is a Philadelphia Union homegrown. He's a young talent who's really stepping up. He's a starter. He makes a really big impact on the games. He did tear his ACL, and we're all wishing him a speedy recovery, the best recovery. He's in good spirits, but that means that this is an opportunity for some players to step up. We've had some additions late in the season. Milan Iloski, he just joined the team at the end of the summer. He's played really well coming in, but there's a lot of depth on this Philadelphia Union team, and whoever is called upon will be ready. A lot of different players have been able to see minutes. There's been 18 different goal scorers this season. That's a lot. So these players are ready to step up when the opportunity comes their way. And
Quinn Sullivan was an outside chance of making the U.S. men's team for the World Cup, and he probably won't be. On a human level, that's got to be devastating to someone like him.
Quinn is a really driven young player, and he has a really exciting future ahead of him. I think, however his recovery goes, he's going to be working really hard at it. But I think the focus right now is that recovery, and watching his team possibly have the chance to win a trophy. I know he's excited to see his teammates be able to lift the trophy. He'll be with them. He'll be celebrating with them and wishing the best for them. So I think that's his main focus right now.
And real quick, talking about the homegrown talent, his brother, Kevin Sullivan, these two are like when you talk about homegrown talent, they're textbook of what that is. How important is that to the Philadelphia Union organization, building up that pipeline? And I think we're seeing the results this year.
So player development is a pillar of the Philadelphia Union. It's one of the most important parts of the organization, and you can see that with how many players that are on the first team roster that are from Philadelphia Union's academy. They started playing with the Philadelphia Union in their academy system when they were young kids, and they grew up and they took each step of the pathway and worked hard and were able to break into the Major League Soccer stage. I feel like for the Sullivans, they're a prime example of what that looks like, and I think there's a lot of other players on this year's roster as well. Frankie Westfield is a player who's from Philly, came up through the Philadelphia Union Academy system, broke onto the second team and had a really, really good experience there. And now he plays for the Philadelphia Union first team in his hometown. It is an incredibly important part of the Philadelphia Union organization, and I think you can see that on the field every week.
Speaking of, he's not a homegrown guy, it was someone they drafted. We've talked about a lot of different players on the show, but we haven't touched on the goalkeeper yet. How important is Andre Blake? I know he's been in and out of the lineup this year a little bit for various reasons. He gets called up, it's injuries, but he's been there. He's one of the guys who was there the last time they won the Supporters Shield. He's kind of been the standard for a long time, but doesn't get talked about as much because I think people just, he's back there.
Andre Blake is a 3-time MLS goalkeeper of the year. I think that in and of itself shows how important he is to this team. He's a very impressive player, but he's also a very impressive leader in the locker room. Andre Blake means so much to this team. He gives them confidence when he's in net. He is a veteran presence on the field, off the field, and he's also, when he isn't playing, if he's called up with Jamaica, he's had some injuries, he's been helping Andrew Rick, another young homegrown, develop during training every day. He's a great person to learn from, and his impact on this organization is unparalleled.
Talking about development, the Union, ever since they started down in Chester, right on the riverfront, there's been a constant try for fan development, trying to grow this game locally. Where do you see that now, especially when we see teams like the Eagles and the Phillies doing so well? And now we see, this could be a really great story with the Union. It is a good story. How do you see this fan base develop over the years?
I remember even myself going to a game when I was young, when they first started, when the team was first established. I think that the Union is constantly growing their fan base, constantly growing in development on the field, but also down in Chester, every time fans go down there, there's something new coming up, like the Wisfis Bank Sportsplex. It's an amazing facility for the players to be training in every day, but also youth tournaments. It's drawing a lot of young players down to Chester to see what there is to offer in the area. There's a sportsplex that has the stadium, a ton of turf fields, grass fields, and a big giant building that's meant for players to come and develop in. It's really impressive, and it's something that I think if you haven't checked it out, it's a must-see.
And then this weekend, if we're going down there, the fans, what kind of atmosphere should they expect?
You can expect an incredible atmosphere at Subaru Park this weekend. I think they're expecting a near sold out, if not completely sold out crowd. It is going to be rocking at Subaru Park. Just imagine the bridge overlooking the stadium, the Commodore Barry Bridge. It's incredible. A few weeks ago, we had our Kick Childhood Cancer Night. It is a night that is honoring pediatric cancer patients in the area, and the atmosphere for that game was incredible. I can only imagine on Saturday what it'll be like. I think it'll be really similar, and with the Shield on the line, I expect our fans to be really, really loud and really excited for what could possibly come the end of 90 minutes.
I'll be down there, Subaru Park, Saturday night. For fans of the other sports, Philly, I've been down at all of them. The tailgates, the Sons of Ben rank right up there with the craziest of Philadelphia fans. They are passionate, they are loud, they bring it. And if no one's been exposed to a Union game, they got to get down there, especially this time of year. So it's great. Sage, thank you so much for joining us. Great stuff. Come again, would you?
Me. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. All right, as we switch gears from the Union to local high school pitch, one of the most experienced coaches with deep roots here in Philly, Nico Severini, joins us next on Brotherly Love FC. Don't go away. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. We are back. We've talked about the Philadelphia Union. Now let's bring it a little closer to home. Our next guest has helped shape Philadelphia area soccer for decades. He's the head coach at Lower Merion High School, a longtime coach with Lower Merion Soccer Club, and his family just celebrated 35 years of their world-class soccer camps in Haverford. He's also played right here at the Ivy League level at Penn. We're excited to welcome Nico Severini. Nico, thanks for joining us here.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
First of all, we'll get into what you're drinking here in a minute. I do want to get into that, but business first. Lower Merion High School, talk about your season this year, talk about your team, and what's your team's identity?
We're having a solid season, a very solid season, and we're looking at the home stretch here. It's a great program. Historically, it's been a very strong, phenomenal program, and I've been the coach the last 16 years. We've had a lot of success and have won several championships and many awards, not just on the field, but sportsmanship awards and national academic awards. So we try to instill the best in our student athletes.
So Nico, you've coached at all different levels: youth, men, female, women, boys, high school. Over the last 15 years, what's the biggest change you've seen in terms of the youth game and the growth of it, and even the skill levels?
I feel that soccer is growing exponentially in our country, in our suburbs, in our cities, and I think that it's a sport that's very accessible now, and people can see internationally, locally, at collegiates, high school, etc. So I think that there are a lot more youth players. I think that overall the level is improving, and we can see it at the national level, at our players that play in Europe, our domestic product. I think that we're super high level and can compete at many tournaments.
And is the sport locally going to have a moment here with the World Cup coming to town? How do you think that will impact the growth of the sport here locally?
I think it's going to have a phenomenal impact, very positive. Growing up in the area, I could have never imagined that Philadelphia would be hosting World Cup games with some of the best players in the world. Hopefully Messi and Argentina gets to play there. Hopefully our national team gets to play in Philadelphia. But I think 10, 15, 30 years ago, I don't think most people would imagine that we would be hosting the World Cup.
When you You said, you see the levels improving, the amount of players is going up. What do you think that needs to happen for that next step where you get those, I know you're a big basketball fan as well, where you get those top athletes to go to soccer and stick with soccer, so you see the effect on our national team, which you still go back and forth on in terms of their results?
Yeah, I think that our country is unique in that we are dominant in so many different sports, and have a huge population, so we have enough athletic talent across many sports to compete. In terms of for soccer, I think that at the grassroots level, we just need more kids playing in the parks with a soccer ball at their feet since day one, and just have that passion for the game. In Argentina, you look at the backyard, the kids are playing the whole day. You go by a park, everyone's playing the whole day. Men, women, kids, teenagers, adults, men's leagues, co-ed leagues, women's leagues. There's not a second in the day that soccer isn't revolving, and I think that we can get to a certain level of that point, and I think that would probably take us to the next level. The skill, the creativity, the intangibles that you kind of just pick up by playing.
And talking about the grassroots level, there's not much more grassroots than a soccer camp as a kid. I know your family has run soccer camps for 35 years. Is that where it all starts, the love of the game and the true learning the game the right way, these kinds of developmental camps?
I think that being exposed to the sport in a fun way with the right instruction to improve and teach the skills, but with friends and having fun is super important. There we are with the fire trucks coming during our summer camp. And we've been there since 1990. My dad started those camps. He played professionally in Argentina and then played professionally here with the Adams, the Philadelphia Adams, and then he was a high school coach and a legendary coach in the community. And he started these camps, and I've been running them the last 10 years with great success. And we just want the players to have fun and to enjoy being out there and develop a passion and a love for the game.
Now, parents always ask, what's the right balance? We always have that line of recreational, having fun, to I want to maybe pursue this in a higher level. What's the parents' role in helping them develop it at that higher level? And how much do they push? How much do they pull back?
I think that the parents play a huge role and have to give a gentle push, a gentle nudge, be there to support the child and see how it goes. But the sport or any activity can't become a profession at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There has to be that sense of fun, imagination, creativity, and wanting to go to practice, not just because my parents drive me 4 times a week to a practice.
I'm sure your parents did that, right? Driving you to practice?
It was a little bit different back then. Like we didn't travel an hour to practice necessarily, but my brother and I, George, we loved playing soccer. We didn't have to be taken to play soccer. We had a goal in our backyard, and if we weren't inside doing homework, we were outside playing soccer, shooting free kicks, playing one-on-ones, goalie wars, you name it. Like we found a way to be in contact with the ball, and it took us both to really high levels. My brother also played Division I soccer and also trained with professional teams and played with the team in our city of Bahia Blanca as well.
Well, stick around. We're going to take another break. We'll be back with you, talk about your ties to Argentina, Messi, the international game. Don't go away. Brotherly Love FC back after the break. Welcome back to Brotherly Love FC. We've been asking for your soccer highlights, and Tom, we're already getting them in.
Absolutely. We had some earlier. We have a highlight now from our friends at Lower Merion, the 2015 boys team. Now you got to watch that goal. Great goal, but now you got to watch the celebration. He's been watching the pros. So great, Selly. But keep those videos and pictures coming in. We want to show off all the kids. We know this is a big time of year for youth soccer in the whole area.
Love it. Love it. All right, we're here with Lower Merion boys head coach Nico Severini, who's been giving us some great perspective on the Philly soccer scene. But Nico, your family roots go back to Argentina. Let's go global a little bit. Argentina winning World Cup in 2022. Lionel Messi, the face of the game right now. What does he mean? First, let's start with that. What does he mean to the growth of this game, Messi?
And last year I was in Argentina, and we had a similar type of show that I was on, and they asked the same question. I think that he's brought a lot of attention to the game, and I think that there are a lot of casual viewers that are now tuned into soccer. I think he's helped explode the league and soccer in this country for sure.
So you figure, I guess back in the day it was Pele, which I think we have a picture of your father with Pele, and then it was Messi. Who's that next person that, if you're a casual fan, you're getting on for the World Cup?
Let's pause here. That's your dad and Pele?
Correct, yeah. If you can see the jersey, he's with the Adams there, and that was a game against the Cosmos. He's from Argentina, Bahia Blanca, played professionally there, and then came here to play, and then met my mother and stayed.
Amazing.
Never went back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's some good stories about his dad we can get to later. But so who's that next guy that everybody should be looking at when the World Cup comes here? That is like that. Obviously Messi's still here, but who's the player?
Yeah, I think that we can look at someone like Pulisic from our squad. I think it'll be phenomenal for being a role model and taking the game to the next level for us. And maybe a European, potentially Yamal from Spain.
Yep.
I think he's a tremendous player. Maybe someone from France as well.
If I want to go back to your youth soccer coach, you've coached both club and developmental and all the way up. We see a lot of kids now. Back in my day, you made varsity, you were getting recruited by college. Nowadays, you're going on to club, and that seems to be the higher level now. Is there a place for both? Club and high school for those kids?
Absolutely. I think that there's a place for both, especially at a high level for high school. The games are very skilled, very technical, very tactical. At the high school level, you have 17 games, 18 games, and if you don't perform, then you don't have an extra game. At the youth club level, there's 30, 40, 50 games in a season, which, you may lose one, you may tie one, and you're on to the next. So I think high school, you play with your friends, you represent your community. I think there's a different sense of responsibility towards the game. And I think that it's very tactical as well, because every game and every goal counts. So I think there's a great space for it.
So you've had a lot of players, whether it be high school or club, go on and play college soccer. Obviously yourself, you did as well. If someone's out there, hey, my kid loves it, they want to play. What do you think is a key? What should they be doing? What should they be looking at to get themselves on that level and to be seen by that level?
I think you have to work on the game a lot on your own, not just with your team, not just with a trainer, but on your own every day. And try to perform at the highest level that you can, whether that's your club or your high school, and have fun with it. When you have fun, when you're creative, then you develop and you show very well.
I got to ask you what you're drinking there. Can you hold up what you're drinking? Is that drinking or eating? What is it now?
Drinking. It's a green tea, South American, Argentina, mate, yerba mate. So
is it a coffee? Is it a tea?
it's a green tea. It has a straw with that filters the water, so you don't get the tea leaves so you don't drink the tea leaves. And everyone drinks this in Uruguay and in Argentina. And if you can see a lot of highlights of Messi walking to the team bus, he always has his mate and he's sharing it with his friends. So.
Can you get it at Starbucks?
You cannot get it at Starbucks that I know of, but you can find the tea leaf somewhere here. This actual gourd is from our city, from Lautaro Martinez, who plays for Inter Milan. But like I said, it's a cultural tradition, and everyone's drinking this all day long.
That's great.
So real quick, we've asked a lot of folks who have come on. Now, obviously, I know for you, Argentina and the USA are going to be two of them. So if you take them out of the mix, if you could have one club or one team come here for the World Cup that you would want to go watch, who would it be?
Into Philadelphia?
Into Philadelphia, but it can't be Argentina or USA. You can't use them as answers.
Those would be the two first ones. I think that maybe seeing the talent that France has or Spain would be a really nice treat to watch and see those players.
All right, we got time for one last question. Your thoughts on the Philadelphia Union? I'm sure you watch them from a different kind of lens. They've been a surprise this year. And at least to outsiders. What are your thoughts on their game this weekend, a Supporter Shield on the line?
I think it's a huge game. I think it's huge for the city and the organization. And yeah, I like to watch the games not only as a fan but as a coach. And I wish them the best of luck. And not just in this game and getting this trophy, but through the postseason as well.
And looking ahead to the World Cup next year, you have any plans where you're going to be? Any way of your being involved, or are you just going to be a spectator and enjoy?
If I can figure out the ticket process, which has been a little bit confusing, I'll get some tickets that way. Maybe I'll get some from the Argentinian Association, and my cousin will come, and we'll try and catch some games in Philadelphia. And I don't know, maybe a semifinal or final if we can.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Good luck to the rest of the season, Lower Merion boys. Just not against Strathaven, I told you. My alma mater. Nico Severini, thanks for joining us.
Have a great afternoon.
All right, from the local field to Lower Merion all the way to the World Cup, thanks for joining us. Remember, keep sending us your highlights, your team photos, and soccer tips. We'll feature them right here on the show.